Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. This is my son's job, because this is actually his job, my older son, Timothy. This is the before shot, and then we're going to show you the completed project. We're doing a lot of different things here. We're doing the patio concrete, we're doing the artificial turf, we're doing the planter, the irrigation, we're doing a Luma wood patio cover, we're doing some stepping stones, a lot of stuff going on here. It's a complete backyard remodel, basically. What they have in here right now are pavers. As you can see, that they were never done very well. All the grass is growing up through them. They're moving around a lot, so they're going to come out really easily.
This is day 2 on this job. We couldn't get the demo done, or demo filmed yesterday, because we had all the cameras on the other site. We were on another job yesterday, but I wanted to show you really quick what we have gotten done. As you can see, we got a lot of the pavers out, a lot of the bushes, shrubs, planters, a lot of that cleaned up. Today what we plan on doing is doing a lot of grading and a little bit of forming. That's the main goal for today, and then also getting the rest of these little plants out that we haven't gotten out. What we're doing right now though is I'm going to be setting up this laser level, and we're going to be getting grade of this whole area for the concrete. I'm going to start forming up the concrete. You can see I got some nice big 2x4s, 20 footers, so I can get this forming in pretty quick, one piece pretty much. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm going to go 1 inch below the weed screed over here, and since the concrete's going to be about 16 feet coming off of this house, I want about 2 inches of slope, about 1%. Every 1 inch, every 8 feet you go 1 inch down, that'll give you 1% slope. So if you didn't know that, there's a nice little tip and trick for you. So what we're gonna do, like I was saying, you can come closer, Jimmy. Get up and personal, you know, so that people can see what's going on. Get the nice fine details. Okay. So like I said, we're gonna go 1 inch down from the bottom of this weed screen, and that'll give us enough runoff so if there was water to ever get behind this stucco, it drains out onto the concrete and down this way. So I'm just gonna eyeball this 1 inch. Now if you do this for a while, you can kind of tell where 1 inch would be. And then I'm gonna transfer that mark right over to my, ooh, I'm not low enough. So me and Jimmy are gonna have to dig this area out, because like you just saw, I'm not low enough to get this Milwaukee level in here. I can't really get a nice leveled bubble. Right, check this out, Jimmy. I can't get a nice level bubble because I'm too high. You can see it sloping backwards right now. So I'm gonna have to dig this down a little bit. Yeah, it's so hard right here. All right, hopefully that's some dirt out of the way. Let's double check. See, if I had a shorter level, this would be easier, but it's on the other job site right now. There we go. Looking pretty good. Right about there. See that? We got a level bubble. So now, with that being said, I can mark my stake, the height where I need the concrete. Come around, Jimmy, show them the mark. That's the mark. That's 1 inch below the weep screed. And so I'm gonna pull a string line now from this point all the way to that next stake down there. Show them the stake. I'm gonna go 2 inches down from my benchmark height, which is this one now. 2 inches down from this mark, to that stake, and that will give me about 1% slope, since I know that I got 16 feet from the house to that stake. All right, that's it, guys. Oh, and then I'm gonna be using this as to get my benchmark. So I'm gonna pretty much level it like this to that mark that I just made. Mark it over there, and then go 2 inches down from there. And that's how you, you know, get your level set up. Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have questions, comment down below. And let's get back to work, Jimmy.
Here's the setup. We're going to put a new valve in. We're going to relocate that valve to the outside of concrete. All we're going to need is one control valve because it's just going to be a drip system for a small planter bed around the perimeter. On the concrete pour itself, we're going to do a broom finish in the middle. Then around the outside perimeter, we're going to do a smooth band, about a 1 foot border all the way around the outside edge. And that'll remain smooth. The stepping stones going out to the gate off of this patio are going to be separated by about 8 inches or so, and then they're going to get wrapped with artificial turf. Here's the supply line heading over there to the new valve location. On that sidewalk that's set up there, before we put the rest of the formwork in to separate the pavers from each other, we'll go ahead and compact it. We're going to be using some steel reinforcement, 3/8 bars at 2 foot centers. Also, what we did on these stepping stones that we're putting in, or pavers, we're going to drill holes through those 2x4s, and the rebar will be continuous. Then the artificial turf will go in between the pavers and on both sides of the sidewalk. Alright, the concrete, we got ready mix concrete over here from Bender Ready Mix. And we have Leo Stable Pumping. Ricardo's on the rod. This particular concrete's a 3000 psi. We have one man dedicated on the rebar that's lifting it as we pour it on out. You can see here how the rebar goes through these open spaces where the artificial turf's going to go in. That'll keep those pavers in one position. Because we're putting artificial turf in there, you don't want those pavers to move because the artificial turf is going to stay the same. So you want the pavers to stay there. Otherwise, you got to start changing the turf to meet it.
Oh yeah, because you were out of wood.
Wood, nails, everything. Real bag.
So yeah, it's about 2 hours to form everything.
Before the turf goes in, once the forms come out, we just throw a fine layer of concrete in between those stepping stones just to lock in those bars. There's going to be artificial turf running through the stepping stones and then on both sides as well. And then you'll have some small planter beds along the perimeter wrought iron fencing. Here's a 12-foot 2x4 we're using to screed this off. We've got about 1.5% slope in all directions, and that's 3/16 of an inch per foot. And that's kind of the bare minimum you really want on any kind of flat work like this. Now if you get into some heavy texture stamp work, you're going to probably almost want 2% to get it to really drain. Here's a 4-foot bull float wood. We have the 4-foot long Milwaukee red stick, just kind of catching the edges. It's basically a level that's designed to rod the concrete, and you can look at the bubble at the same time to give you an idea what's going on.
Okay, so we just got everything rotted out. Alfredo's on the bowl float right now. He's bowl floating this whole concrete patio. And then I'm cleaning up these little concrete paver steps, making sure that they're perfectly screeded and leveled out to the heights that they're established at, which would be this curb height and then our forms in the middle. So I'm just using this right here, going down like this, making sure I got a good height on everything, which it looks all perfect already because I just finished actually. So that's what we're doing here. After this is good, we're gonna wait, let the concrete get a little stiff. Probably about 30 minutes. 30 minutes go by, we'll start to hit an edge around everything. Clear the lines with a little float or steel trowel. Depends how hard the concrete gets. And yeah, we'll just take it one step at a time from there.
This outside edge of this patio will get a 10-inch wide band all the way around, and that's going to remain smooth, and then everything in the field will just be a nice light broom finish. This right here is a 6-foot long cutter, and that's going to put some crack control joints in here. What it means is that if the concrete decides to crack at some point in time, which concrete always does, it's going to find the weakest point, which is right here where the aggregate's been separated all the way down about 1.5 inches. Now potentially you could just trowel right over this joint and really not make it visible, but it would still crack there in a straight line because the aggregate's already been separated all the way down. The only way to really close it up, a joint, once you've already put it in, you'd have to actually beat it and add gravel and concrete and mash it in to both sides of that. Otherwise it's going to always crack there. So in other words, don't put a joint in and then close it, because most likely it's still going to crack there.
What I'm saying is the look of the pattern, you know, like.
And there's some key crack points off of those protruding corners there. Our final joiner will just be a 1/2 inch radius, 1/2 inch deep. Back here in the corner of this house by that patio door, that's where the patio cover is going to go in. It's going to be 8 feet off of the house, 12 feet wide. It's going to be a dark brown aluminum wood, which is all prefab kit. You just have to put the pieces in the right place and screw them in. The beauty of the aluminum wood is that you're not going to get termites. You don't have to paint it very often at all. Here's that 10-inch wide band.
All right, border edge is almost all the way in. We're using a 2x4 to get everything nice and straight as we go down.
There's the horsehair broom ready for action. This is actually a 3-part series. So we'll get all the concrete finishing completed in this one. In the next one we're going to show artificial turf install. And then also with the irrigation planters. And then the third part will be the actual patio cover build.
Fucking brewing right now. 1:4:69.
So we got 2 brooms going right now. We got one on the stepping stones and we got one on the patio simultaneously. Once we broom that out, there might be a little overlap on that band, so we have to touch it up and trowel it one more time just to make sure that band stays smooth without any broom marks on it.
Busy.
All the thing, you know,
Here's the final touch up on the band.
there's a shortage on wood, on lumber.
Huh.
Do you like the shiner look or no?
Yeah.
You like it?
Oh yeah. You know, the designers.
All right, guys, we just came by to take out the forms today. It is the next day of the pour. We just wanted to get all the forms out because we want the concrete to be able to expand without it being held back through the forms. And if that was to happen, it possibly could crack. So that's why we're here the next day taking out the forms. We just hosed everything down to help it cure out a little slower and make it a little bit stronger. The slower it cures, the better it is for the concrete, so you won't get any shrinkage cracks. That's the whole point of having it cure. Slower the better. But this is it. This is how the concrete turned out after we stripped all the forms. You can see we have rebar running through these little concrete pavers. Pretty nice. That'll help keep all these pavers together if there was to ever be any movement or shifting in this area, but hopefully not. You can see the patio's looking really nice. We just wet it down, so it's looking even better. Got that nice wet look on it. This down. Dude, the concrete feels so nice. The smooth finish. Like, it's so much rougher with the broom.
But it's because you don't want it to slip though.
Yeah, it's like slimy.
Yeah, but imagine, when you're wet and you're walking, you're carrying
Oh,
something.
dude, you're gonna fly backwards.
Yeah, if the whole thing was that.
Like a cartoon with banana peel.
But that's why we have the broom. Oh man, look at those steps though.
The slower the movement, the better. But it does kind of get fuzzy if you move too fast.
So stay tuned for part 2 so we can check out how that artificial turf goes in. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.